to the industrialization and technological transformation of the continent. As the founder of TRT Investments, a diversified investment group with interest in manufacturing, property development, and financial services, Adam embodies the new era of African entrepreneurship, one that prioritizes economic empowerment, industrial growth, and opportunities for the next generation. Join us on the stairs this Wednesday, March 12, 2025, as Adam tells us his success story.
Ready to climb the corporate ladder of success? Let the stairs show you the way. In today's fast-changing world, success requires more than just hard work. It demands adaptability, emotional intelligence, and digital savvy. Every last Wednesday of the month from 4 to 5 p.m., we bring you the strategies and stories you need to thrive. Hear from industry trailblazers and visionaries sharing their secrets, how to network like a pro, harness the power of mentorship, and stay ahead in your career. Because climbing the ladder isn't about the corner office anymore. It's about thinking big, staying agile, and making meaningful connections. So, whether you're just starting out or chasing the next big leap, join us on the stairs. Let's elevate your career together on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. This is the nation's #1 talk news and sports radio station. We're broadcasting live from our audiovisual studios right here in Itimian Crescent, Victoria Island, Lagos. Welcome to the stairs. Once every month, we bring you a sensation, someone who's been able to get to the peak of their careers, someone who's used their business or their creativity to affect the lives of people. And today we're leaving Lagos to the southern part of Africa, and I'm so excited to introduce my guest to you because I have followed this man and I love what I see. Adam Molai is an African industrialist, a visionary entrepreneur committed to industrialization and technological transformation of the African continent. Now, as the founder of TRT Investments, a diversified investment group with interest in manufacturing, property development, and financial services, Adam embodies a new era of African entrepreneurship, one that prioritizes economic empowerment, industrial growth, and opportunities for the next level. Over the years, ladies and gentlemen, Adam has established a legacy of creating impactful solutions across diverse sectors. He played a pivotal role in transforming Zimbabwe's tobacco industry by pioneering a contract growing scheme that enabled over 150,000 small-scale farmers to participate in the lucrative value chain. He also co-founded Pacific Cigarette Company, one of the only two significant African-owned cigarette manufacturers globally, achieving notable market success in Zimbabwe and beyond. I did tell you that we're going to Southern Africa to bring this guest to you, ladies and gentlemen. And let me introduce my guest. He's got a long dossier, but we can't spend time on that. I'd like for you to meet Adam Molai. Mr. Molai, so good to have you join us. Welcome to the stairs. I have looked forward to this interview. Thank you for joining us.
Maryann, thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm really humbled to be on your show, and you're too kind with those words. Certainly doesn't sound like me, but coming from you, I'm happy to accept them.
Oh, you're being so humble. Anyway, sir, for the average person who's listening to you, and you know, when they listen to your bio, they're like, "Oh, wow, amazing guy, doing a lot of things." I want to start because this show tries to not just put you on that pedestal, but they want to know who you are behind, you know, the whole big persona and the industrialist that everybody knows. Tell us a little bit about growing up as Adam Molai in the southern part of Africa, I beg your pardon, especially in Zimbabwe.
Well, thank you, Maryann. I started my education, born and raised in Zimbabwe, and I started my education as a racial integration experiment in 1978, when Rhodesia was starting to transition into Zimbabwe. And so that was a very interesting start to my academic career. And then I finished my high school in Zimbabwe, then moved over to the UK, studied there, and then moved to Canada, where I then graduated somehow with a first-class honors degree. And since then, got back home and felt that I had more to contribute at home than what I could do abroad. So my family, my grandfather, I think started shaping the family history in entrepreneurship, as he was a trader. And then my father became an entrepreneur himself, my mother a teacher. So from an early age, I was immersed in business, learning the importance of resilience, innovation, and value creation. So my journey has been about trying to solve problems, trying to create value, and trying to build enterprises that contribute to Africa's economic growth. And really, over the years, I have founded and invested in businesses across many sectors. I mean, I think I've been a jack of all trades, but now we've really focused into three main value pools. But we, along the way, participated in from retail, fuel and lubricants, foundries, property, tobacco, bottling. We even dabbled into airlines, Maryann. And now we've really said we must focus on three value pools, which is now industrialization, technology solutions, and property. But always with a mission of saying, how can we make Africa self-sufficient and globally competitive? And my personal ambition is to say, how do we take Africa from being on the menu, where everybody feels, I want Africa's thigh, I want Africa's head, I want Africa's back, to sitting on the table and earning our place on the table. And we only earn our place on the table by productivity, producing goods and services that the world requires, so that we earn the respect and we earn the custom of all the other global players, and therefore deserve a place on the table.
I love how you've, coined, or rather just make the conversation about Africa, which is something I love and it's something that's close to my heart. Not being the menu, but now being on the table. And this is a challenge, whether we like it or not, in Africa, where people just take from us. And so we just become people who work for the people who take from us what originally belongs to us. And I mean, I can begin to tell you about the gold, the crude, all of the things that Africa has been blessed with, that's, taken and then sold back to us at a premium price. What do you think? Because you've told me a story about how your life was a racial experiment and you've traveled to different parts of the world to study. How has this affected you in helping other people? Because I know that you're very interested in young people and growing and changing their mindset. How has your trajectory as a young person into growing into a business person helped you, made you want to bring in more people to your level or your mindset level, where we can all embrace what we have and begin to think on that level? Because, for example, look at what's happening in America. Trump is back with the America Fest. If you're not buying America, then we're not playing with you. He's raising tariffs and all of that. When will we as Africa get to that point? And how easy is it for you as one man to change the mindsets, especially from the people in Zimbabwe?
I think we all have a responsibility, and I love a quotation. It's one of my favorite quotations from an American psychologist called David Prescott. And he says, the purpose of life is to discover your gift. The work of life is to develop your gift. But the meaning of life is to give away your gift. So I've been very fortunate in that I think my history was able to allow me to be able to play across the racial divide. I could sit in a room where we only had my brothers of the same pigmentation as myself, and would all be very comfortable sitting together, chatting and charting a way forward. But I could also sit in the other divide and sit with my Caucasian brothers and sisters and similarly have the same conversations. And when I look at what happened in Zimbabwe, particularly in the tobacco space, and the transformation we were able to midwife, and this without a bullet, this without a noise, I think it was about the ability to be able to have certain conversations and have trust conversations. And because there is that trust across both divides, we were able to communicate and speak to each other rather than what you normally get, which is people talking at each other. So what we were then able to do is have conversations of how we can actually work together and collaborate towards the transformation we see today. I mean, you know, at that time, Zimbabwe had an industry which was 5,000 white farmers, and they grew at peak 200 million kilograms of tobacco. But through contract farming, where we were able to bring on board, you know, even the multinationals who were the source of my pain later, we were able to collaborate, and they became a joint venture partner when we started contract farming. And we were able to now get almost 185,000 local farmers involved.
Wow.
But what is the most important thing? Beyond the democratization and beyond breaking the racial divide, there was a 50% increment in total growth. So the actual total production increased by 50% from the height when it was a racialized industry of 200 million kilos to now 300 in a fully democratized market. So there is value in bringing everybody together, working together collaboratively, because ultimately you grow the cake. And what this does, it grows the middle class and it creates greater consumption. And with that greater consumption, you know, the producers of goods and services also benefit. So it has an impact across the whole value chain. But the most important thing was then to say, let's move from being exporters of raw material. That is our bane as Africa. We export raw agricultural goods. But I'm encouraged with what I'm seeing in Nigeria today, where Dangote has now taken oil and moved it up the full value chain to fuel. And I was happy to hear the report just before I came on of initiatives to continue to support that. But at the end of the day, that's what we did as well in the tobacco industry. And what that does, look at the number of jobs it creates, look at the local consumption it creates, and look at the growth of the economy that it drives. So when I look at that and what you've mentioned about America, if you think back to 1300, we had Mansa Musa, the wealthiest man on earth in 1300 was an African. So now we hear people talking of MAGA, Make America Great Again. And I think as Africans, we need to think of our own MAGA, which is Make Africa Great Again. Because we had the wealthiest person living on this earth coming from Africa with that gold that you're talking about. And when he moved, was going to Mecca, and he left gold in Egypt. I mean, the Egyptian currency collapsed for years because of the amount of gold he had left in Egypt. So that level of wealth is African wealth. And Africa is a wealthy continent. It's just that we need to manage our wealth. We need to make sure we learn how to work together. Today, we look at each other as 54 disparate states. Whereas if we looked at Africa as one continent of 1.6 billion people, right, we would actually be able to leverage our collective strength. The strength that India has today, the strength that China has today, is because of their population dividend. But by 2050, Maryann, 1 in 4 people living on this earth will be African. 1 in 2 people 18 and under will be African. Now, if we cannot leverage those statistics and that future that is ahead of us, then we have nobody else to blame for our predicament than ourselves. So I think it's our mindset, and it really starts with our mindset, because we've had this savior mentality where we were used to people coming from other parts of the world. The colonizers came and we saw them as coming to save us. Then we're waiting for the others to come and save us. The only people who are going to save us is ourselves. And what we see happening now, particularly with the nationalism we're seeing coming from America, we have to understand that we are on our own and we have to make our own solutions. And I'm always saying I'm grateful to everybody who said no to me, because they made me find a solution for myself. So let's leverage this nationalism. Let's leverage what we see as adversity and actually make it an opportunity for ourselves to build a better Africa.
I would have this conversation for days and days with you and nonstop, because, you know, you're telling me what I want to hear. But most importantly, you're just one person, like I said, one guy in Zimbabwe who's tried to change the narrative. I'm sure that you also have people who support you, who think in the same direction. But how easy has it been when and I'm not in any way trying to badmouth our African leaders, but then we also have African leaders who don't necessarily want to buy into this change narrative that you have been talking about. The fact that we need to stop giving out everything and start looking at ways that we can improve on those things. I mean, I was watching television today, and the Minister for, I think, Trade and Investment for my country was saying that we're eating our belts, we're eating our bags, so we're eating our shoes. And that's because in Nigeria, we love to eat the leather. You know, we call it pomo in this part. It's part of our, meals, even though it doesn't give anything to us. And he's saying maybe we need to start looking at how we can begin to use these things to economically benefit us. But are governments really helping? I mean, because you see that, I'll use Nigeria again as a point of reference. Somewhere called Zamfara State, where we have a lot of gold. People are coming in from outside of the country to take our gold, and no one's accounting for it. And then, our ministers are telling us that these people who are causing terrorism and terrorist attacks because of our gold are very powerful people. And I ask that question, who is more powerful than the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? And this is data for all African countries. Look at what's happening in the DRC. It's because of what's in the ground. How can we get our governments to be on the same page with us and people like you who are trying to say, let's build back better?
Maryann, I mean, I thank you for thinking that there are few of us, but there are many of us who have this passion for the continent and who really have a strong belief in what we can do for ourselves. And as you know, I mean, I'm grateful that we now have our own local media and media houses like yours, which are now able to tell our own story. As you have always heard the old African proverb, until a lion learns to write, the story will always glorify the hunter. So the story, as you try and change the status quo, you are maligned beyond measure, Maryann. That's what I faced. I faced being maligned. I think many people who would hear of me would probably imagine me with 2 horns and a tail. But that is the price you pay when you want to go against the status quo. When you say enough, we now need to do what's in our own interests, not what's in the interests of everybody else. We now need to work for Africa, not work for everybody else. So one of the things we have to be ready for is the brickbats that come with that kind of thinking. And I mean, now at least that we have media like yours, which is able to tell our African story.
Sorry to talk over you. We have to quickly go on a break. We'll be right back. Just a quick break. We'll be right back. All right.
Sure.
More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.
Are you thinking of studying abroad? If yes, ALTS Education is presenting you with the opportunity to meet directly with boarding schools from the UK, USA, and Canada. Here in Lagos, this March, 2 days of boarding school fairs. Meet the school representatives on Saturday, 22nd March from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Radisson Blu, Ozumbambadi Way, Victoria Island, and Sunday, 23rd March from 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Radisson, formerly Protea, Isaac John, GRA Ikeja. For more information, visit altsconsulting.com or call 0818-000-0500. Investing in our children and the future of Nigeria through international and global education. ALTS.
Mama, are you hungry?
Yes, my pikin. Oh, yeah, go change. Make it come chop.
My children are my life, but I know say they need to eat well to do well. Since I discovered Maggi soya chunks, so add protein to my food, don't they easy?
Now, I know they worry whether them get protein for food, because with Maggi soya chunks, I fit give them protein for food.
Protein every day for my family.
You remember the old days? You wanted to send a letter, so you'd write it by hand, buy a stamp, drive to the mail station, and wait weeks for a response. Then email came along. Boom! Message sent in seconds. In no time, right? The world is changing. Money is changing. So why are you still investing the old way? Researching, guessing, praying, stressing. With Second Mountain, you go from posting letters to instant messaging, just like that. Second Mountain gives you freedom and control. You decide when and how you want to use your money. No lockups, no middlemen, while keeping full control of assets with self-custody. Imagine if you'd invested in Bitcoin 10 years ago. It's been the better performing asset 8 years out of 11. Visit secondmountainhq.com today. Don't be the one saying, I wish I'd started sooner. Second Mountain, financial freedom for everyone.
With Money Master, Nigerians can now open accounts, send, collect, save, and deposit money from anywhere and to any bank with any kind of phone. We can also pay bills, buy airtime and data for ourselves and our loved ones, and so much more. Just dial *995# or download the Money Master PSB app today.
Money Master, the easy way to master your money.
It's Ramadan. Come on board. Let's go on a tour to the top restaurants where you can enjoy the best of the season. First up is Charity Cafe. Here, the currency is sharing, so keep giving. Next up is Kindness Bistro. Be the kindest you can be. Last but not least, make a stop by at Forgiveness Drive-Thru and let go of every beef. And at Sahur and Iftar, bring it home with the goodness of great tasty meals with Noor.
This Ramadan, don't just eat for good. Share the good all day. Knorr, share the good.
Are you ready to unlock the economic possibilities in 2025? Join our CCG Christ the Lord Parish at the 2025 Economic Summit, date Saturday, March 15th, 2025. Venue, 1 to 5 Admiralty Road, Lekki Phase 1. Time, 9 a.m. sharp. Be inspired by our keynote speaker, Bismarck J. Ruwani, with insights from moderator Olive Emodi. Hear from our top panelists, Dr. Abiodun Adedipe, Ugo Dreo Bichuku, and Okpeyemi Agbaje. Hosted by Pastor Tunde Nete for the APICR Region 11. Don't miss out. Register now at www.rccgchristthelord.com. Position yourself for greatness. See you there.
Are you ready to unlock your full potential? Join us as we celebrate 10 years of empowering futures. Whether you're a budding entrepreneur or a hardworking professional, we are here to support you every step of the way with our expert guidance and tailored financial solutions. The horizon is yours to explore. Join us today and start your journey to a brighter future. For more information, you can visit us at any of our branches close to you. DDMFB, empowering futures.
The holy month of Ramadan is upon us. As we embark on this journey, let's not forget to show love through sharing. This Ramadan, stay ahead with Dairy Power from Suhoor to Iftar. Join us every Monday to Friday as we explore the spiritual and physical benefits of the month, plus exciting recipes. Catch us on our YouTube page, Hollandia Dairy Nigeria, and on Dadin Kowa, Faranwata, Sunna TV, Arewa TV, and African Magic Hausa TV stations. Ramadan Mubarak from Hollandia.
For 3 great seasons, the fans have fought with passion and fire, their best they brought. The banter was bold, the debates were tight, each word a weapon, each match a fight. But now it's bigger, the stakes much higher, the battle returns and it's full of fire. Fan Battle 4 with Femi and the gang on 99.3 Nigeria Info. The stage is bang. In partnership with Sports Salon, we raise the game with glory, honor, and a shot at fame. Think you've got what it takes to score? Then step right up. It's time for more. Register now and take your stand. Your time to shine is now at hand.
Registration is ongoing on www.nigeriainfo.fm.
Fan Battle 4. Let the battle begin.
Are you in the agro-island food and beverage manufacturing, printing, or packaging industry? Get ready to position your business for success. Meet potential customers and collaborate with global industry leaders at one of Nigeria's biggest international trade shows. Agro-Food and Plasprint Pack Nigeria marks 10 years of connecting businesses and driving growth. Join us at the Landmark Event Center, Victoria Island, Lagos, from March 25th to March 27th, 2025, for an anniversary edition packed with opportunities. Meet with exhibitors from Europe, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, Asia, and Africa to showcase your products, innovations, and machine requirements. You can also sponsor to gain high-level exposure or attend as a visitor to explore new opportunities. Register now at www.agrofood-nigeria.com and www.ppp-nigeria.com or call 0902-222-2226. Be a part of this milestone. See you there.
Mama, I like calm.
It's him to say you like calm. I tell you, say he no good for you, but you see they talk, cause say you like calm. My pikin. You know, say I go always get your back, but you gotta shine your eye well, take carry better thing. Like the new Golden Penny Soya and Vegetable Oil, where they for brand new packaging.
The new Golden Penny Soya Oil contains vitamins A, D, and E with omega-3 and 6 and 0 trans fat. It is available for different sizes. Buy your own for retail store where they near you. Golden Penny Oil, eat well, live well.
The pressure is on, the competition is fierce, and the road to the grand finale is almost complete. This Thursday, it's day 16 of the I Beg to Differ Secondary School Debate Tournament, the semi-finals. Only the best remain, and the battle for a spot in the grand finale is about to begin. 2 finalists to be decided. Who will stand tall and who will fall? At 4 p.m., Esther Joseph and Akishunle Oyedamola go head-to-head in a fiery clash. On the topic, female politicians are often oppressed by their male counterparts. One will expose the truth, the other will challenge it, but only one will advance. Then at 5 p.m., the economy takes center stage as Ifeolu Olaiya and Chaloku Naomi go head-to-head on a burning issue. Removal of fuel subsidies has helped the Nigerian economy. Is it progress or a pitfall? Relief or ruin? The debate will be fiery, and the stakes have never been higher. Watch the action live on Facebook and on YouTube at Nigeria Info FM. Listen live on Kids FM 101.7. Lagos, this is it. No second chances, no room for error. The path to the finals is paved with words. Who will make theirs count? I Beg to Differ, supported by Obiwizi, Diamonds and Pearls Travels Limited, and Christian Schools. Prize money sponsor, Tollywood College. For sponsorship, email info@nigeriainfo.fm. I Beg to Differ. the Tournament of Champions.
The sun has set. Time to break our fast together.
Mashallah. Look at this beautiful spread. Where did you find such fresh fruit? And with prices nowadays, how did you manage such a feast?
Farm Market has everything prepared for Ramadan this year. Their special Ramadan offers made shopping so much easier, even while fasting.
At Spa Market, we understand Ramadan is about both spiritual devotion and bringing people together. That's why we offer value-driven deals on all your sahur and iftar essentials. Visit any Spa Market nationwide from March 7 to April 1 to enjoy our special Ramadan offers of up to 50% off from sahur to iftar. We are with you. Terms and conditions apply. Spa Market, there for you.
I was 9 when I realized Ramadan was more than fasting. At 15, it became clear this season is also about connecting with loved ones and sharing Lipton, especially during sahur and iftar. Today, it's my turn to teach the little ones the true meaning of Ramadan. And I always start with the rich taste of Lipton Yellow Label Tea.
This Ramadan, enjoy the flavorful taste of Lipton Yellow Label Tea. Tea so good, you'll want to share.
Did you hear about Shadi?
What happened?
She bashed someone's car and her basic insurance was only able to cover the other person's damage. She had to repair her car with her own money.
Sometimes, third-party insurance is not enough for your car. Introducing Flexi Comprehensive Motor Insurance by Hares General Insurance, the affordable choice for smart car owners. The Hares Flexi Comprehensive Motor Insurance Plan costs as low as 25,000 naira for a whole year and provides coverage for you and the other person up to a limit. In the event of a motor accident, Hares General Insurance will pay to fix your car and the other person's car too. So, upgrade to Flexi Motor Insurance Plan from Hares General Insurance. Visit www.hairsinsurancegroup.com, that is HEIRS, or call 0700 434 7746 to get started.
Halilas! Ramadan Kareem!
Ramadan Kareem to you, to Hajia. I see you're doing a little shopping.
Yes, so you know Ramadan is the time to nourish our spirit, minds, and bodies. And I'm stocking up on Bonvita to share with my family and friends so we can all win every day this Ramadan.
I came here for the same reason.
This Ramadan, walk into any store and buy the 450-gram pack of Bonvita today to enjoy 50-gram extra for free. Promo valid while stock lasts. Terms and conditions apply. Bonvita, prepare them to win every day.
Step into a realm of endless opportunities at Wellspring University. Whether you're aiming to pursue undergraduate studies, top-up programs, postgraduate degrees, we've got you covered. Our commitment lies in nurturing talent, inspiring innovation, and empowering students to unlock their boundless potential. Explore our diverse range of programs, including public administration, economics, hospitality and tourism studies, nursing, medical laboratory science, criminology and security studies, microbiology, and much more. For further inquiries and to discover the perfect program for you, visit our website at www.wellspringuniversity.edu.ng or call us at 0704-255-0535 or 0907-333-0526. Wellspring University, the future of education.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
Millions of listeners trust us on Hard Fact. Whether it's politics, social issues, controversies, and trending stories, you know we're credible and objective.
It's Hard Facts with Maryann Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Yes, we're back. It's still the stairs on Hard Facts, 99.3 Nigeria Info. We still have Mr. Adam Molai, an industrialist, one you would call a man of many parts. He said that he's trying to trim it down to 3 so that he focuses on those 3. But he's telling us his story as to how he got to where he is today. And what you and I can learn, for those of us who are still in the business of climbing that ladder, what must we know? But then he's delved into, what he's very passionate about, which is Africa, the continent of Africa, and Africa growing back better or building back better, and not always going cap in hand to other countries to help us. But then he was trying to explain to us how we can stop playing the victim. Mr. Molai, so good to have you with us again. Thank you for staying with us on the conversation. Let's see. So you were trying to tell us exactly how we can stop playing the victim and how we can, band together. And of course, most importantly, how we can partner with governments and leadership to further this message.
Indeed, Maryann, I think it's an issue of narrative. We now need to control our own narrative. Our narrative has always been controlled by others. And if you look at what you're saying about your gold situation in Nigeria, it's no different in Zimbabwe. We have the same challenges. So it's a continental challenge. You mentioned the DRC issue. And I really lament that, we as Africans would continue in this day to invite externals to come in and midwife our processes as if we are unable to resolve our own issues, which really communicates a lack of self-belief. So it's a mindset issue. So 1, we have to deal with the issue of mindset. 2, we have to start to control our narrative. But 3, we have to create a social contract between government and business. If you look today in America, President Trump, Elon Musk, they're working side by side, government and business. But what I found on our continent is we have an adversarial relationship between government and entrepreneurs. And I've attributed it to the fact that once you grow to a certain level within your own country, the people in government who are politicians start to see you as a threat. Even though your skill is not in politics, it is actually in business. And I have no desire for politics, but because of what you achieve in business, there's a feeling and a fear that you may decide to cross the divide and join politics and therefore become a threat. So I think we need to get over that hurdle. And once we get over that hurdle as a people and as a continent, we'll actually be able to find our collaborative effort and build together towards the Africa that we need.
Let me talk about young people quickly, because I see my phone lines are lighting up. People want to talk to you. They have questions. They have comments. There are a lot of, the reason why we have this segment of the show called The Stairs is for people who are getting into, the first stages of their lives, people who are trying out things, and we know that the young persons today are very creative. Their minds are amazing. With the technology that's, at everybody's fingertips, these people have so many creative ideas, but how do you manage yourself side by side those ideas and to also avoid burnout? So for the average young person who's listening to you, how can they key in to this African agenda? How can they, one way or the other, help the situation? Because, in Nigeria every day, if you listen to my radio station every other day, you'd hear people complaining about how bad government is, how, things are not working, how they're not helping us to grow our own businesses, etc., etc. But what is the role of the average young person? How can they key into or plug in with their ideas to also help build the Africa, the ideal Africa that we're all looking out for?
Entrepreneurship is about solving a problem. It's about identifying a need, creating a solution, and monetizing that solution. So if your business doesn't solve a real problem, it won't last. So if I look at my personal life, my first attempt at entrepreneurship, I was a 10-year-old. right? There was a shortage of matches in Zimbabwe. I was working in my father's shop and I saw this shortage. My father was a strict disciplinarian, no pocket money. If I wanted a sweet, I had to pay for it. So I had to learn to make my own money. So I'd buy a box of matches, sell it by the nearby shopping center, and then come back with my money. But what was that? There was a problem. I found a solution. I monetized it. In high school, we had terrible food at boarding school come Sunday. What did I do? I started bringing in meat and all the things from my father's shop to the school. Started buying with friends. Others said, wow, this is great. Before I knew it, I was bringing in for hundreds of students.
Wow.
Right? There was a problem with food. I found a solution. I monetized it. Later on in my early life, just when I got back home, right, I would leave my shop, get back home, realize I have no bread and milk. Drive back to the township to open the shop to get bread and milk. And I realized I can't be alone. So I said, let me open a 24-hour shop. This was the first 24-hour shop in Zimbabwe, 1999.
Wow.
Right? I had a problem. I knew I wasn't alone. I solved that problem. I monetized it. And then everybody else fell for it. And 60% of our sales in that business, Maryann, became at night, between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. And when I started it, everybody laughed at me. Who buys at night? Your father's been a retailer all your life. He opens at 7 a.m., it closes at 7 p.m. What's happened to you when you were abroad? Did the cold weather affect your brain? So we need to really understand that what we need to do, identify a problem. And we are in an abundance of problems on our continent. So we have an abundance of business opportunities because all these problems require a solution. So we just must remember, let's identify a problem. Let's find the solution because the problem is the opportunity. And let's monetize that problem. So really it's about pain points. What are the people's pain points? How can we solve those pain points and create value and money from those pain points? That would be my advice to the young people. Secondly, I think business, people have to understand that success is not linear. But every failure that you face as you get into business is a stepping stone. So I always say you either win or you learn. You don't fail, right? And I look at some of my biggest failures, two of my biggest failures. One was probably, I think, a 15 billion naira failure. Another one was a 5 billion naira failure. But we were able to pivot those businesses. And the businesses that is at the core of what we're driving in industrialization is where we lost 15 billion naira, right? And what did we do? We've identified a challenge. Africa is importing personal care and home care products. 85% of those products generally are water. So Africa is importing expensive water. Come on, guys. Are we that daft that we have to import expensive water? So we're solving for that, right? Now, within just 2024, we created almost 800 jobs in South Africa with a business like that.
Lovely.
Right now, we're coming into ECOWAS. We'll be there by Q3 of this year, and we're probably going to create another 1,200 jobs. But what are the biggest lessons from my failures that we were able to pivot to success? The financial services business was a failure of an investment in Kenya. We pivoted it and have created another solution, which is a property tech solution, but that's now working. So the biggest lesson, business is about people. No matter how great your idea, if you work with the wrong partners, disaster is inevitable. But what makes the people issue pertinent? It's values. Like any other relationship, if the values are not aligned on issues such as financial management, integrity, responsibility, but more often than most, relentless execution, because execution beats strategy, right? You can have a great strategy, but if you don't implement it and execute it well, the business will fail. So relentless execution. Then challenges will ensue if you don't have a values alignment. So really it's about solve a problem. If you're going to partner, the right people, right? It's about working with the right people, and it's about relentless execution. So that would be my first two hints. And the last one, right? Because a lot of people unfortunately, on the continent, we have this belief that I'm going to do this in the meantime, and then, while I'm working, and then I'll do a side hustle. I had a defining moment from my late father when I got back to Zimbabwe in 96. He asked me what I thought was a trick question. He says, Adam, what do you want to do? I was applying for jobs, and I'd already started a chicken business that I was building. And I said, well, I'm building my business and I've applied for a job. I thought he wanted me to have a nice business card. And then he asked me again, what do you really want to do? And eventually I said, I'm working. And then he says, no. Do you want to be an employer or do you want to be an employee? And I hesitated, thinking, again, this is a trick question. But then he clarified, you must be the best at either being an employer or an employee, because trying to do both is mediocrity. And do you want to live a life of mediocrity? That's the best advice I've ever received in my life. And that's the day I chose to be an employer. Entrepreneurship had already chosen me before that.
Yeah.
But because I was afraid of how people would feel about what I wanted to do, I wanted to follow the path of employment. But I knew I was an entrepreneur. So I canceled my job interview for the next day, and I went into starting my business the next day. So you've got to choose.
And here you are today. Because I have just 4 minutes on the clock before I let you go, Mr. Molai, I'd like to open up the phone lines. By the way, we're live. Facebook.com/Nigeria Info. We're live on YouTube. Nigeria Info FM. Adam Molai is with us on the stairs today. You have questions, comments. I'll give every caller 30 seconds. Go straight to the point. 0201 465 7190. 0201 277-0993. That's for the gentlemen. And please, if you're a man, don't call the ladies' line. Hello. Welcome to the stairs.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Nathaniel. I'm calling from Lekki.
All right, Nathaniel, you have 30 seconds. Go.
Yeah, I really want to appreciate the resource personnel in the house. In fact, he has said so many things. And the question I have for him is this. Does he think that executing business just like the way he did in Kenya will actually work in Nigeria? Because if you come into our country, you are welcome to a country where even the politician will frustrate you as a business and entrepreneurship person. They can do anything just to sabotage you and support the foreigner, who will bring in this business.
All right. Thank you very much. Your 30 seconds is over. Mr. Molai will take note of that. I want to take a few more, and then, of course, we will... Mr. Molai, I think you should... let's take one quick call, and then you can respond. Hello.
Hi, Mary. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
You are British here. You see, I want to ask our guest, number one, does he think that Africa can ever change, especially the leadership, political leadership now, without the followers holding them accountable tooth and nail? Thank you.
All right. So do you think that African leaders will ever change, without the followers holding them to account? Because, I don't know if you know the Nigerian story, which is also detailed for many African countries. Our leaders have a way of, wiggling themselves out of these problems. But let's start with the first caller, and then you can end with this.
You know what? We have invested in Nigeria as well. In fact, there's a young entrepreneur with a company called Power Stove, who we supported through our venture capital fund called the Jua Fund.
Okay.
And, so yes, we've looked into the Nigerian landscape, and right now we've got other initiatives we're working on in Nigeria. I think very soon we're going to be supporting a lot of Nigerian manufacturers who are importing a lot of personal care and home care from China. So we're working together with a Briggs & Bank to now manufacture within the region for all those people who are importing into the region. So we're going to be doing a lot with Nigeria. And so far, the support we've had has actually been very strong from the Nigerian government. So, I think we have this thing where we've always thought of foreign direct investment ahead of domestic direct investment.
Thank you.
So now I think we need to put forward domestic direct investment because that's what's going to grow our own people. And that's what's going to make Africa successful as it needs to be.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have, Mr. Molai, but this has been a great conversation, and promise that you'll come again on another segment. We need to talk about growing African businesses on this show, and I can't wait to have you back. Whenever you're ready, I'll be glad to have you. Once again, thank you for coming on the show.
Great. Thank you, Maryann, and keep up the great work. We need the African voices.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Adam Molai there. Great conversation on the stairs. You can get to rewatch the conversation. It's going to be podcasted on our website, www.nigeriainfo.fm. You can also go back to YouTube at nigeriainfo.fm or facebook.com/nigeriainfo.fm to watch this interview. We'll be back after the break. We're talking about the price battle between Dangote and the NNPC. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. 99.3 Nigeria.